Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast to now game 1 in a series from Liquid Hero versus Ryung here on GSL Whirlwind. Now, first of all, I will say that this game is old. It is back from June, but it is from the WC playoffs, and this is, well, a best of 5 series, so the game should be entertaining as both of these players have a good feel for each other. Now, one of the reasons why I like a best of 5 series over, say, a best of 3 is you really start to understand and start to see the strategies and thought process behind the players. We can see that Ryung is spawning as the blue Terran over here on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, Liquid Hero spawning as the red Protoss over here on the top right. It is going to be Protoss versus Terran in this matchup, and I am wondering what strategies we will be seeing. Now, this is always something that I always found rather strange with long tournaments such as the WCS. The WCS, there's qualifying rounds, and then as the game evolves and the game develops, the game that you played, or the StarCraft in general that you play at the start of the tournament, is not necessarily the same game that you are playing at the end of the tournament. The strategies can change, the balance can change, also the metagame can always change even if there are no patch changes. So it's unlike baseball, unlike any other sport out there where the game is fairly static. We are taking a look at Ryung. Ryung is going for a command center first. Meanwhile, we are looking at a Nexus first coming in from Hero. Very interesting strategies coming in from both sides. On top of that, the fact that Hero built his pylon close to home means that he's not going to be able to do any sort of wall off here. Very, very interesting as the game is now underway. You can see a barracks has been placed down as well, and all we're seeing is a really strong economy being built up by both sides. No surprise that the Protoss does have a slight worker advantage, especially with that chrono boost there. We are going to be saving some of that chrono boost just a little while longer. You can see that he's actually stuck at 18/18 supply and now going in for double gas. This does make a lot of sense. I wouldn't call Protoss gas dependent, but they really need to get that gas early on. It's not that they need a lot of gas to train a lot of early units, even though Zealots and the Protoss Mothership Core, Sentries, and Stalkers all require gas. The main thing that they really need gas on is that Cybernetics Core's Warp Gate tech. That Warp Gate tech increases the production of all gateways significantly, as it does take 10 seconds off of the build versus cooldown mechanism between Warp Gate and training. We are looking at a bunker being placed over here on the front door. Ryung should be able to keep that Marine inside that bunker, keep him very, very safe, as we are now looking at a bit of scouting by Liquid Hero. Hero now wandering around here. We are going to see a probe now walk up the ramp, and as this probe walks up the ramp, he may actually get shot down by this Marine. That Marine very, very well positioned. There you go. That probe is taking a bit of damage. Is the Marine going to get some shots off? Yes, there it goes. And there's that double barracks production to make sure that that probe doesn't get any additional scouting information. Now, meanwhile, Hero is currently taking a look around the map. You can see that this SCV is taking a rather roundabout way to get inside his inside the other bases to do a bit of scouting. So far, Mothership Core now on the way, but I believe this Mothership Core will simply be pushed back based upon the number of Marines. We can see that the Mothership Core now looking to make its way in. The Marines, however, are actually moving out in the wrong direction. Do they have a little bit of spider sense to realize that something is going wrong? And there you go. There is that Mothership Core now arriving to the party, and it will be going after some of these SCVs. There's that low hit point SCV now trying to get away. The Mothership Core sees Marines. There's a beautiful time warp there, slowing the Marines down. It doesn't really affect the SCVs all that much. It looks as though the SCVs are mining much more slowly, but that is not the case. They are just walking slower. The majority of the time is normally spent, though, at the mineral patch. So this was something that I believe was actually shown on Team Liquid, that getting a time warp onto those mineral patches doesn't slow down mining nearly as much as it appears. Not really worth the 75 energy, but Hero also did it to protect his Mothership Core so that Marines could not get underneath it. A little bit of balance play, double action there, as we're now looking at an SCV trying to make its way in, unable to do so, as we are now sitting at the 7-minute mark of this game. Both sides now have very strong just infrastructures going. You can see 16 probes here in the main base, 11 here at the natural. Back over here, you also see, I believe, mules will be dropped in, inside the main base here, making sure to keep them up and running. Ryung has to be careful, though. He doesn't want to have these mules run out of minerals just shy of the mineral patch. That's actually the perfect positioning there. Have them dying as they're making their way back over. We see an observer now looking to do a bit of scouting, as well as Ryung may not catch this on his main map. It's a little bit difficult to sometimes spot that observer unless you have very, very keen eyes. Back over here, Stalker, a Marine, getting shot down right there as the Stalkers finish that off. And all we are looking at now is whether or not Ryung can get into a starport with a reactor to try to fend off this upcoming attack. Stim pack level 1 weapons upgrades will be going up against Protoss armor and a robotics bay with Colossus. More gateways are being thrown down as well, and this generally means we are going to be having a massive battle coming in just a moment. Oh, that one poor Marine may end up getting taken down. No, beautiful Michael by Ryung, making sure to pull back with the lower hit point Marine. This low hit point Marine may jump inside there. Yes, it will, and wait for medevacs to show up, hiding inside a bunker when things are not going all too well. Very, very smart call, as we're looking at an engineering bay now getting level 1 weapons upgrade, and we may see a second engineering bay being placed down here in just a second. Proxy pylons are now all placed across the map down here. I suspect one here and eventually over here as well to reinforce. You can take a look at the Marines. The Marines now making their way down. The Stalkers may get off some easy shots there. This is going to be a little bit of a bad move here, as the Stalkers now trying to chase her or try to run away. This is not looking good. It looks like 2 Marines will get taken down at the cost of 2 Stalkers, as the warp prism. Oh, this is a hallucinated warp prism, which is going to really, really draw a lot of attention. It looks as though Hero is going to lose that hallucinated warp prism, and wow, Ryung actually losing a lot of energy on his medevacs, as he was just faked into thinking that he needed to clear that hallucinated warp prism from his base. Big move there, as Ryung now moving out across the map. You can see there is a Colossus in play, a mothership core with that photon overcharge ready to go. Mothership core with photon overcharge. Excuse me, perhaps one of the strongest abilities in the game. Give it an additional time warp, and the Marines cannot get in combat range fast enough. This is going to be a very uphill battle. And I'm not saying that just because there is an uphill battle coming into play. Literally, this is going to be an uphill, or figuratively, this is going to be an uphill battle, as the Stalkers and the Colossus do outrange those Marines. The Colossus with extended thermal lance range, which is now ready to go, or will be. Come on, don't make me a liar. There we are, now ready to go. Should in fact be able to chase back all of these units. Now we do see a handful of Marines and Marauders looking for proxy pylons. It doesn't spot any as of yet, as the Stalkers, Sentries, and Zealots now making a move out. Supply counts are about the same. You can see a new pylon now looking to come into play as well. As we can see, Ryung is looking to actually do a ninja expansion here to the 9 o'clock position. That's actually going to be some bad news, as we do see some force fields. Hellbats now coming in to engage. There you go. There's the engagement. Some units are falling back here. The Stalkers do have blink. They should be able to survive here, as the Mothership core still... the Mothership core still has plenty of energy. Back over here, the Orbital Command does spot that pylon and now needs to retreat here, as the Stalkers, do snipe down a Viking. Brilliantly done right there, sniping down the Viking, preventing Ryung from shooting down Colossus very, very easily. Meanwhile, we can see that there are a whole bunch of Marines and Marauders right here. Proxy pylon now all set up. There is a proxy pylon being taken down off over here, as a major engagement happening over here to the top left. Mothership core and Colossus, 3 of them just completely barreling down. You can see that the Marauders now trying to fight back here. The Stalkers did blink forward, as the Colossus now following this up, and it looks as though Liquid Hero is going to be very strong here. There is a second time warp. SCVs being pulled off the mineral line, but SCVs are not the counter to Colossus, contrary to what anyone tries to tell you. simply don't do it. That SCV was a desperation move, and now he is in a much, much worse position. We are seeing at 110 supply versus 60, as Ryung going to end up losing his natural expansion. Meanwhile, the counterattack, Marauders and Marines quickly sniped down there. Really not a threat whatsoever, as it looks like a Manor Nexus coming in from Hero. There is that Manor Nexus, and that Manor Nexus is just looking to add insult to injury. So far, what can Hero really do with that Nexus there? He could try and get a new Mothership Core and then use a Photon Overcharge. Marauders getting stuck on the wrong side of a force field once more, and the Colossus are just continually sitting there having a great time. There's not much that can be done to stop them, though. Colossus just walking forward and attacking, semi-stutter stepping, letting extra damage finish it all off. Those talkers now back off, and there is the GG. Ryung loses game 1 here. Liquid Hero taking it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Please stay tuned for game 2.